Hello YouTube. Well, it's been quite a bit of long time since the last time I did a video. Things have been pretty crazy in my life, and everything's been spiraling left and right, and just YouTube as a platform has become definitely a different place since the last time I've been up on YouTube. So I took a break for a little while and I decided to kind of just recollect things and try to really decide exactly what I'm going to do next. But seeing as the Power Rangers brand also rebranded under Hasbro, which was before under Haim Saban and Saban brands, I decided maybe to take a look at one of the new products that were released for this particular line. Now, Go Busters was a pretty interesting season. It was definitely a very strange series getting into it at first, and there was a lot of things that made it a little bit different than some of the other previous Sentai seasons up to that point. For Power Rangers, it's also something very interesting, and because Hasbro seems to be putting a lot more love and attention to this particular series, it's definitely become a pretty interesting experience overall up to this point. We're only in about 4 episodes in, but it's already starting pretty good. I think actually the 4th episode will be playing either this weekend or what's the last weekend. It's probably this weekend. I think there was a week off. But overall, this is pretty interesting, and just looking at between the differences between the Japanese version and the American version, which we'll take a look at in a little bit, there's definitely some interesting changes that Hasbro has done for the particular version. Anyway, so now take a look at the box. The box is pretty different than what we've seen with the Bandai Japan boxes, the Bandai America boxes. It has a picture of the Beast Morpher Red here. It has a Try Me feature, which is unfortunately set in the open style boxes, which is definitely a problem since you're getting it in store. You're going to probably look for the best copy, or else it's probably going to be a little worn. Maybe the batteries are dead, or various other things that could be associated with these open style boxes. But other than that, the actual artwork is pretty nice overall. And on the side we have Beast Morpher Yellow and the Beast Spot there. We also have another picture of the Beast Morpher Red there. Same thing up here with the helmet. Down here it's pretty much just what you expect. On the back we do have a lot of stuff going for it. Pretty much shows what it does, and for some reason they actually decided to put some stickers over some of the phrases, because apparently some of the phrases changed over time by the time this released, so they had to kind of quickly, it seemed like, attach some last minute changes to make sure that at least the product was making sure that it actually stated what was actually with the product. So other than that, that pretty much covers the box. Now we're going to take a look at the Morpher itself. Now one thing that is definitely a big difference between the Bandai America and, the Hasbro version and the Japanese version, it's going to get hard to get used to that, is the fact that this is not just a single unit. In the Go brace, or the Go Buster brace should I say, there was nothing else with it. This was pretty much the entire unit, and that's what you got. For the American release, however, Hasbro decided to add a little bit of gimmick this time around. And it's nothing that actually completely changed the overall designs. This is pretty much the same overall look compared to the Japanese release, but it does come with this little key. This key can be separated into 3 components. The keys will be available with various figures that are released in line, but they're not going to be 3 segmented keys like this one is. This is just a special key that's with this release, and each of them will activate different sounds on the Morpher when you actually attach inside. So we're going to take that out to the side first. Before anything else, we're going to take a look at the differences between the Japanese and the American versions. Now, this is kind of a strange comparison. This is the first time we're seeing a product outside of both the Bandai America and the Bandai Japan releases. So this is an entirely different company. There's going to be some massive changes just from the 2 companies alone. First off, the American version is a lot larger than the Japanese release, and there's some areas where the paint is pretty similar, but in some other areas this one is slightly better, but overall it's pretty much the exact same thing paint-wise. We do have the silver paint throughout the Morpher in the various areas, even on the side here. Obviously on the Japanese release there was a button here that activated some of the sounds, so there's going to be a major difference here, since now the activation button is actually this red button up here. Here is where the key slot, which will be used for the various sounds, etc. And overall design is still pretty close. On the inside of each of the units, unfortunately this is underpainted compared to the Japanese release, but overall it's pretty much what to expect. This had a ability where it will actually be able to snap into place, but not automatically. You do need to do it manually, since it has one more notch that you need to attach it to. Well, the Hasbro release while this part can be floppy, it's pretty much just one unit there. So overall, that pretty much covers the major differences. Another difference is on the Japanese release, they still maintain the same strap, which unfortunately I do need to actually use a Velcro strap piece in order to put it together, since my arm is not able to wear it properly without it. On this release, however, it is a regular Velcro strap, which is sewed on here, and with this can actually fit on my arm with no issue. So that's pretty good, that it actually is something that you can use for adult arms. So that covers up the basis between the two different versions. Now we'll go on to the sounds next. First, there are two modes which can be activated here. We have the first one, which represents pretty much the demo mode that it was in. It doesn't have any confirmation sounds, but other than that, you can just pretty much press the button and it'll make various sounds.
Hey Ranger, move me around!
One major difference here is that this particular unit lights up, while in the Japanese release, it didn't really have any areas of lighting up outside of the actual glasses part. It also has motion activation sounds. Which is pretty much what it does in demo mode. It will activate the transformation sound also in this mode, however, we'll now go on to the second activation in order to turn it fully on. From here, it's not going to do anything as long as you don't press the buttons. So here we go. So that pretty much represents that it's on. And then the motion sounds activate as well.
Let's go! Rangers, it's go time! Unleash the beasts! It's morphin' time! It's morphin' time!
And with that, we'll now activate the transformation. So, we press this, and the glasses will extend out.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time!
It's morphing time! So that's pretty cool. In the Japanese release, all you need to do was press the button, and then, if I remember correctly, there was another button you had to activate. It's been a while since I played with the Japanese version, so I don't exactly remember what that one did. But in this version, you do activate it just by saying the phrase. Now, it doesn't matter what you say, and obviously we'll have to reset it, but it doesn't really matter what you say when you activate it there. But we're going to turn it off in order to try to make it easier so that we can activate the key. So, first, we're going to attach the red key. So it looks like this. From here, we're going to place it in.
Cheetah Beast Power, red!
When you put in a key, it will activate pretty much various phrases when you put in a specific key. So now we're going to activate the transformation again.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time!
It's morphing time. So that's pretty cool. The morph sound is pretty much different compared to when you didn't activate it with the key. And the sounds will be slightly altered when you activate the motion effect sounds.
Unleash the beasts! Virus eliminated!
From there, you can press the button, and it'll pretty much do the exact same sounds as if you didn't have anything in there.
Cheetah Beast Power, red! Rangers, it's go time!
Now that pretty much covers what happens when you put in the red key. Just because it's not going to change a whole lot, we're going to activate it with the slightly orange, yellowish key here.
Defenders of the grid!
This is pretty much the exact same thing as the red key. I'm not exactly sure what that key is for, but
It's morphin' time! Let's go! Rangers, it's go time! Unleash the beasts!
from what I can tell, the phrases are slightly altered compared to the red key. However, the morph sound,
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time!
it's morphing time. It's the same if you put in the red key. However, it does have one more key, and that is the green key. This is supposed to represent the villain key. So I think of this as the kind of the ones used with Blaze, etc. and all that, but I'm not sure exactly if these are the exact same phrases that you're going to hear with the Blaze key that comes with the figure, but here we go.
I'm not a real human. I'm much better.
It's not quite him, but it's a good enough representation. With that, it does actually alter the sounds quite a bit, so...
I'm the better Red Ranger. I'm not a real human. I'm much better. Not today, Rangers!
For what I get, that's supposed to represent Scrozzle, although I'm not sure if that's the exact voice for him.
I'm the better Red Ranger. The Morph X is mine!
What's also cool is that it actually changes the Morph Sounds. Here we go.
Are you ready? Say it's morphin' time!
It's morphing time. So that's pretty cool. Now, we'll actually activate different sounds with the motion activated sounds as well.
Not today, Rangers! Victory is mine, Rangers!
So, that pretty much covers the main sounds that's included in the package with the main Morpher. As mentioned earlier, each of the figures will come with their own key, which will activate various other sounds when activated with this Morpher. So that's pretty cool, and it's definitely a very interesting added feature that Hasbro decided to go with their version compared to the Bandai Japan release. So it does activate a little bit more of play value just from that alone. Overall, the Morpher is actually pretty good, and especially since the strap does not actually need any extra tools in order to make it extend for adult wrists, that actually definitely makes this a lot better. It is a bit uncomfortable at times, but at least it does fit on most adult wrists for what I could tell. So that's really nice that Hasbro decided to go with this option compared to what was seen with the Bandai Japan release. So overall, this is definitely a very nice Morpher, and it's a really good first impression for what we got with the new toyline under Hasbro versus what we could have seen with Bandai America. So, I definitely think this Morpher is worth it. I got mine for around $25 because I got it with some coupon deal that I got on Barnes & Noble. It's very strange that Barnes & Noble's website even uploaded this, but it's nice that there was a way to actually get a hold of the Morpher, since it was definitely selling out a lot faster in other places. So I definitely recommend tracking this down, and for what I could tell, most of the toys are supposedly set for an April 1st release, which is pretty much just around the corner, although some areas have gotten this early, so you're pretty much going to be able to see this in the near future. So anyways, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hirotaku. Also check out Twitter, Darkon633, and also me on Instagram under Darkon633 as well. I'll back up more reviews, although I'm not sure exactly what my schedule is going to be for this particular review schedule now that I'm back. But anyways, I'll be back, YouTube, so see you later.